the Messiah to you, the chosen one, the chosen berry pie. Thank you, my followers, for joining me. Turn on my LEDs. Had to get a haircut today. It was getting too sloppy. Speaking of sloppy, I've easily gained 5, maybe 10 pounds. I'm gonna shed it all over again. I felt great after not eating yesterday, by the way. I didn't not eat all day, but I barely ate through the day. And by like 4:30 p.m., I had my last meal, which was very small. I think it was like, what did I have? Some peanut butter. I think that's it. And I just did not eat all night, and I felt so good this morning, just not eating. Hey, Becky. My mom's doing well, actually. I just talked to her. She said it was raining a ton in Virginia. Still not sure when she'll ever visit LA. That's tricky, and now with the whole plague that's resurging around the country, I'm not sure how good of an idea it is. I don't even want to go out to stuff, and it sucks because I really want to. You know, it's been long enough, but this is not going away anytime soon. So thank you, Becky. Thank you, Aiden. Let me turn on my LED lights. And there's a part of me that just wants to quit everything, go back to my car, get the hell away from everything, get away from this dirty apartment, my screwball roommates, but and get away from my job, even though it's a good job, but I have nothing to complain about. It's just tedious. Not the work itself, just dealing with people. And same with here, dealing with people. And I was dissociating somewhat. I had to stop spinning out. I was like worried about everything, like in the world. I was like, oh my goodness, rents are going way up. There's going to be more homelessness. This pandemic's going to keep spreading. All kinds of horrible things, violence, racism, are just intensifying. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. And it's like I have to stop. I have to stop spinning out about this stuff. There's only so much one savior can take. Hey, painting houses from New Zealand. There's only so much one Messiah can take. So I ceremonially buzzed my hair today. I told the barber at the salon or whatever, I said, just give me the number 4 razor. That's always what I tell him. Did they get this right here? It's always like kind of screwy how like the temples get like uneven. But yeah, I was just getting too sweaty and hot. Even though I like how it looks long better, but what can I do? But yeah, I went in there. I said, just give me the number 4 razor, and she said, okay, just on the sides. I said, no, all over. She was like, oh wow, you want your hair buzzed all over. Hey, Linda. Yeah, I'm gonna try and film my mom's recipes maybe when she's in LA. Possibly, realistically, earliest will be December, I think. I could get a few days off work and try and visit Virginia, but there's no way I want to do that. Virginia is way too depressing. I hate it there with all my being. I do want to go back there and film movies, but I hate hanging out there. I don't know. Maybe I'd look at it a little different now, but I don't like being there. It's not nostalgic for me. It is miserable. But maybe I'd be more adjusted to it now or whatever. I don't know. It's not the place for me. I like being in LA. I'm so glad I'm from Virginia, but not there. It's like to me that sort of built me up to want to come to a big city like LA, even though the smog was bad today. I didn't write enough. I wrote 22 pages today, and it's still not enough for me. I'm like, I'm too distracted. I'm writing too slowly. I've got to write faster. So after this live stream, it's like, begone, devil. I have to keep writing Got my notebooks here. I've been exercising. Again, I've been eating too much. I can see it in my face too. Gained a few pounds. Nothing horrible, but got to get back to dieting properly. And I'm still saving money, but I'm making less money because I'm not working much overtime anymore. For one thing, now we have a second person in my department who's pretty fully trained, so he's able to pick up, whereas before, yeah, I was swamped. And I'm just very dedicated to writing, so I've got to write a lot. And I didn't realize, it's weird, and this is where I'm just realizing I think maybe I'm like God or something. Like, I'm like so much more dedicated than most people I know. It's weird, and that's not a brag. That's unfortunate because it really is, frustrating when I want to work with someone who can, like, I can test my pages with, who can answer questions about, okay, what am I getting across with these pages? What's the story you're experiencing? And how does that not match up to what I'm trying to convey? Or does it match up to it? In which case, that tells me useful stuff about my weaknesses and blind spots. People don't like doing that because it's painful, because it's painful finding out where your shortcomings are, and because it's not fun necessarily. For me, it's fun, but it's fun because it's hard. For other people, they just want to write and not be judged and not have to work on stuff they know they're not good at. Me, I want to go straight at it. So that's why I want you all to be like me. I don't want you all to be like the rest of them. So follow me. Divorce your families and follow me. Click like, everyone. Hello, Zombie Man. Click like, everyone, to help the video out. I'm going to try and limit this stream to maybe 45 minutes or so and get back to writing, maybe write another 20 pages, which hopefully I'm learning how to do it a lot faster. The dreamlike intuitive writing where I just write without judging, because I have been stopping to judge, and that's not good. That means I'm not working my like unconscious mind. Yes, at some point the writing's got to come back to the conscious mind, and I have to organize everything, because what I'm writing now, is nothing people can read that'll be anything close to, something worth selling. But it is something that, like, I'm realizing stuff about, like, I'm developing my writing by doing this just for 6 weeks. So I'm going to do it another about 2 weeks, because I've been doing it for 4 weeks now. I realize not nearly enough every day. And then I have my next workshop with Corey Mandel, and then I'm going to have to focus on the new assignments for the new workshop. I won't have this time now. What time is it there? It is 5:10 p.m. Hey, Slouch. Well, screenplay formatting is easily just read a bunch of screenplays. The rules of screenplay formatting have changed over the years. I read the script for Psycho, the, I believe, 1963 film from Alfred Hitchcock. It is very dense. It's a great script, but very dense with description. Because descriptions back then were like so detailed, like, oh, the cabinets are over here and stuff, and you wouldn't even waste time writing that stuff now. But things change over time where people start adding different stuff, and that's fine. It just know your craft and develop your language, but read a lot of scripts. Because even the or the rules people say, there's stuff that's always slightly different that I've seen about, scene headings, about dialogue, like when someone's on the phone, how do you write it? Do you put like parentheses VO for voiceover? Do you put parentheses under their name, filter for, the filter over the phone? It changes, but you read enough scripts and type out word for word your favorite screenplays. Retype them out word for word. I've done that with 7. I want to do it with at least 10. And I've learned so much from that. I just felt transformed after doing that, and I should have been doing that so much more. And that's my only regret, is not working harder on that stuff. So I think maybe, within a year I should be able to say, okay, I'm launching a career now in screenwriting and directing and all that. Because I don't want to just be training another year and be like, oh, I didn't really push myself as hard as I needed to. No, now's the time. Now is the time when everything else is out of the way. I've got a good job. I'm living in my dream city, LA. I'm working in film as it is. I'm getting paid pretty well, even though, like I said, the pay is lower now, but I'm getting by and I'm still able to save money. Hey, Break the Loop, your dedication to daily practice of screenwriting is impressive, Angelo. Glad you're doing what you enjoy. Thank you. And I realize I have to push so much more. Today I spent like half the day from like 4:30 in the morning to noon just doing errands, groceries, getting my hair cut. I bought two shirts. My shirts are fading, so I got two t-shirts. What's the rule on new clothes? Are you supposed to wash them before you wear them? Does it matter? Another gray shirt. I have so many gray and black shirts, but the other shirts, they weren't in the sizes for me. They were like XXL or small. I need medium shirts. So these were like the only two colors, and I already have like five gray and dark gray and charcoal shirts. That's what I get for going to Target. And Target, by the way, they have like three shelves with men's shirts. You know, they barely have any men's shirts. They have 500 pairs of men's pants. Oh, wait, this is funny. Break the Loop said, my girlfriend walked by my laptop yesterday when you revealed that you finally found out what your roommate is doing, and she laughed out loud. Thanks, man. This fucking weirdo apartment, but I have to accept it. I have to live with it until, I really start making a lot of money. And I just want security. That's all and be able to do the projects I want and spend money on my own films, in addition to possibly, making studio films. But I have to develop my craft first, and that's why I'm just pushing myself so much, and it's still not enough. I'm getting better at it, but I have to be doing it now. So stop, alt tabbing over to YouTube and checking stupid shit that never even there's nothing even compelling about it for me. Not just on YouTube, but Facebook and all that. There's nothing that's that interesting. I'm like, I have to stop and just let go and go straight into the writing. And I've been journaling to do that. So journaling, this is interesting. That's one of the warm-up exercises that Corey Mandel has said in his interviews that he has students do to get in the intuitive frame of mind. So I just journal for like a page or yeah, about a page. About a page is enough to write like 15 minutes of just my thoughts. Yeah, break the loop. Mostly I can avoid working with weirdos because there was this one dipshit who was just like, we need help over here. I had no idea who he was. He had never seen me before. I was in no position to help him because I had no idea what was going on. He was just obviously a creep. And I said, I don't know anything about that. And he said, well, this happened. And it's a problem. The phone cut off with our. I was like, so do you want to use my phone? And it turned out, by the way, what I found out, there's no way that would have helped. But he was pressuring me so much. I made a report about it to my job, but it turns out the guy's a client apparently, so I don't think they can do anything to him. I don't know. I don't know if they can or not. But it's bullshit either way. Because if a client did, man, if my client did that to someone, I'd be like, who the fuck are you to pressure someone like that, you dipshit? But hey, just got to move on. No big deal. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, yeah, I do deal with little weird bullshit at work, but it's you just get through it. It's no big deal because really I'm not going to care. I'm hoping that within a year I'm out of that job, and not because I don't like it or anything. That's what I thought being a bouncer. I thought being a bouncer, I'll do it for 1 year and then I'll be rich as a videographer. I worked as a bouncer for 5.5 years. All I mean by it, what I want to be there a year is either I transfer somewhere else in the company I work at to work more directly on movies, because right now I work in the archive, so I'm kind of like a librarian slash mail clerk. So I ship stuff out, I catalog stuff, I put it on a shelf or I put it on a cart and bring it over to another department that needs to, work on it. Um, and there are other departments that work directly on like mastering movies and all kinds of stuff, audio, ADR, grading them, like fixing the audio, remastering them, all kinds of things like that. And my boss encourages that. He's like, you can get promoted within the company here, so if you're interested in something like that, you can apply for it. So that's what I'm hoping, one or two things, but really I'm hoping my screenwriting career can take off within about a year, because a year of dedicated training with all the practice I've already put on my own that I realize has prepared me, although I learned some bad habits too. That's what I realized. But by doing the intuitive training now, which is something I never would have done before, I'm learning to, sort of wipe out those bad habits. But yeah, I'm hoping within a year, like I'm able to actually, launch a career and, you know, make a lot of money and be able to just live how I want. And that doesn't mean like having a ton. It just means I'd like a nice apartment, in a nice building. But it's a shame that, man, it's like the disparity between rich and poor is so dramatic in LA. Literally all around, my building here in the alley behind the building, there's been homeless people living. Go around the corner, there's encampments. And, it's just, it's absurd. And I don't want it to, I don't want to, I don't want to be in a situation where we just keep, the rich keep enriching themselves and don't worry about the poor. It's like, yeah, I want to live well, but other people should be able to live well too, you know? Anyway, so I don't want to, like I said, I'm going to dissociate if I keep, because I get manic when I think about it. And what am I going to do? I'm not going to solve anything by talking to people about this. It takes, other people doing so. I can't, I just get manic and I spin out. It's horrible for my mental health, and I'll be disabled if I don't get it in check. So, I'm a little dissociated now, but I'm with my breathing exercises, muscle relaxation. I'm able to stave it off within a day, basically, the feelings of dissociation. Lots of homeless encampments in northern Cali too. Daily fires happening, fire trucks wailing as they rush over. Man, yeah, that is wild. And we've had the smoke come in from the Northern California fires. I have no idea what most of the state of California is like. I'd be fascinated to find out. I mean, I've never even been more than a few miles north of LA, like as far as Silmar, Lakeview Terrace, Hanson Dam. I filmed there a lot. Not much further north than that. San Fernando Valley. I have gone north maybe, yeah, once or twice. I don't know, for a shoot or something. But there's so much amazing stuff around here. Just incredible. I've seen like huge rock formations. There are the mountains everywhere, even here in Hollywood. I didn't realize we're in a valley too. It's just not called the valley. Um, have I considered going back to car living? Yeah, a lot. And I don't want to because, I want to, first of all, I don't want to shower with water bottles anymore. It's so much better showering, indoors and shaving. My razors wore out so quickly using water bottles to clean my razors because I couldn't get all the, skin and like skin cells and facial hair out of the razors. So they would clog up and like get dull within days. Now my razors last like 2 or 3 weeks because I'm able to rinse them out and dry them out. And and also I couldn't write on my laptop, and that would be, yeah, really a shame if I couldn't write. So no, I'm not prepared to go back and live in my car right now, but I don't want to live here necessarily, with the screwball of roommates. But what can I do? I just got to, as far as problems go, it's the least problems anyone has. And I was catching myself doing that yesterday. I think I was like, wait, what the fuck am I doing? Every problem I've had has been like the greatest, asset for me, like the greatest benefit to me. Being homeless, working in that warehouse, hating it, it brought me to the job I have now. If I worked another job that I was kind of okay with, I wouldn't have looked for jobs and found the one I have now. If I hadn't have gone homeless, hadn't quit my job, hadn't moved across the country, well, those weren't really problems, but being homeless kind of was. Um, I wouldn't have gotten to this point. So I have to figure like, and as bad as some things are, and it's tough, and being dissociated, and losses and all that, it just made me even better, and it got me to better places. Both with my writing, my craft, my outlook, and life, and geographically better places, and financially. So I just have to look at it as, oh, I'm going to get better. Like, you fucked up when you're rude to me or something. Like, you fucked up, you disrespected yourself, you fucking low ass slob. And by the way, one reason, to be nice to people in film, the person you're being rude to now, someday they may be your boss. So or you'll never get a chance to work for them because they'll never accept, they'll never let you work for them. So I have all the advantages I need, and now I can really see where a lot of my blind spots are with writing that I didn't know about before. I still could use help if somebody was willing to. I posted online, I posted on Facebook, Instagram, I posted on YouTube. Nobody followed up with me to actually want to do. A few people said they were interested, and then when I emailed them with the assignment, nobody was willing to do it. And so that's fine, it's where they are, but they don't understand the value of pushing yourself directly in the places where it's most difficult for you, where you're the weakest. So I'm like, okay, I want to go straight there. It's almost like we're partners, and I'm saying like, oh, don't worry, I'll do all the work. It's worth it for me too. It's not worth it for you too, so you don't bother. And maybe someday they will. But I was looking at screenwriters groups on Facebook, like 4,000 members, 10,000 members, stuff like that. I'm like, this is sickening. I don't even want to. Not sickening. I don't even want to look at this because there's only like a few scripts each year that get adapted and produced, whether you're talking studios or even competently made indie films. That, relatively speaking, there's only a few of the 100,000 plus scripts written a year. So that means a lot of people are not real writers. They're not really applying themselves. They're not trying. They may be dedicated. They may be working hard, but they're not applying themselves in the right ways, and they're trying to get their stuff out too early, and they have all these blind spots they don't know or care about. And so I'm like, I don't even want to look at these groups and see what all these fake writers, these writers who say, these people who say they want to be writers, what they're saying. And it's not because I hate them or I'm better than them or I look down on them, really, even though it sounds like I'm saying it. It's just, I don't want that stuff in my head. I have my own way I'm trying to do things, and I get it because I used to have all the bad habits that writers would have. But anyways, click like, everyone, helps the video out. And oh yeah, I'm obsessed with The Last Temptation of Christ. I want to see that movie, or I'm going to see it in the theater September 18th. But I don't know how much longer I should be going out to events, even though the infections in LA are still pretty low. It's pretty disturbing seeing what the Delta variant is doing to people, vaccinated people, and I'm fully vaccinated. Now I'm realizing, oh, and I'll need a booster shot in a couple months, so I shouldn't take it for granted that I'm immune. By the way, here's a great book all about the making of The Last Temptation of Christ. I had no idea. Oh, is this image really flipped for everybody? So everything's flipped. This is my left hand on screen, even though it's my right hand. Or is that just for me it's flipped? Dust. So this is Hollywood Under Siege, Martin Scorsese, The Religious Right, and the Culture Wars. This is all about how The Last Temptation of Christ got made and how it was the most controversial film ever made. I didn't realize that, how it had huge protests, violence, death threats, there were security issues. It affected the production of the film. They had to hurry up and finish the movie and get it out because theaters didn't want to show it. I had no idea how controversial it was. Now, New Zealand is smart. Oh, do we have two New Zealanders here? Zombie Man and Painting Houses. Update on New Zealand. The restrictions are slowly easing for the country south of Auckland. Because I know in New Zealand, they had like one case and they immediately locked things down. I'm like, how smart is that? That is so smart. I'm sure New Zealand's got all their problems too, like we do, but I don't know. It's just such a smarter approach to realize that's all it takes is one person to create a pandemic. I've been trying to work on my bladder retention, bladder control, strengthen my bladder. Somewhat better at it. I'm still like, kind of weakened my Kegel muscles. That's a gross word. My piss holding muscles too much. And I have to like strengthen them to better control my bladder. And also I'm putting more salt on my food. So I realized like, oh, okay, I learned that like from a nutritionist, like some salt is necessary. So I'm putting some iodized salt and Himalayan salt on meals, like just twice a day. And not a ton, just like a quarter of a teaspoon, like it says a serving is. Just so at least I'm getting some. Anyways. And I'm exercising a lot throughout the day. Like I'll do like, I don't know how many push-ups, like 100 push-ups in the afternoon. And just to help me, feel better. Not even just to work out, but just to do something to feel better. But overall, doing pretty well. But yeah, it's scary. How bad this pandemic's been going, and I'm getting better though, thank goodness. Like my dissociative episodes, like they're going away so much quicker because I'm training myself to use my body to, feel relaxed. Oh, excuse me. I have gained probably like 10 pounds though. Gotta lose that, shed that again. But big deal. I can do it. It's not a problem. I know how. Been getting good food at the food bank. Salmon strips that are pre-cooked. I just microwave them. Pre-cooked chicken, steak, turkey. Eating oatmeal in the mornings. I love eating oatmeal in the mornings. I'm trying to lay off the protein powders. I get them from the food bank cheap, but I realize I don't really know what's in all that stuff, so maybe I should lay off it. I don't really need it. I'm not a bodybuilder. So maybe I'll try and just finish this last jar of chicken raspberry flavored protein powder and just be done with it. Make some room on my shelf in the kitchen. It's nice to have a haircut today to be buzzed, just because it's more comfortable. I like it how it looks longer. I wish I could have that Arnold Schwarzenegger, length hair when he was a bodybuilder. He had hair like down to here kind of, and he said it was so that his head didn't look too small in proportion to his body. He was thinking about competition, but I'm like, man, it's uncomfortable having hair that long. And last summer, a year ago when it was growing long, like it was touching the back of my neck. I don't know how people, like how women especially, get used to that. Having long, I kept feeling like something's like brushing against my neck. I couldn't get used to that. Favorite horror movie? I don't watch a ton of horror movies because I don't know. I don't think most of them are that interesting or that good. But I love The Exorcist. That one's amazing. Drag Me to Hell. That's great. What else? Trying to think. What other horror movies have I seen? Night of the Living Dead is really great. It's truly great. Land of the Dead too. Oh, Dawn of the Dead. The original. The new one's all right. I saw the new one actually. I think it may have been the first movie I saw in theaters after I got over my first dissociative 14-month long DPDR bout, and it was a surreal experience going to movies again and not worrying about all the shit that was in my head. Although it would soon come back in other ways. I was I was like delusional, thinking like the devil was trying to possess me. It was very scary, but anyways, that was an interesting time in my life to sort of be out on my own for the first time. I'm trying to think what other horror movie. The Exorcist, Drag Me to Hell. The original Halloween's pretty good. Yeah. I haven't seen David Gordon Green's new Halloween movies, but I want to see the. And now I've heard he's like going to direct 5 of them. But I want to see his because the trailer, at least for the first one, looked interesting. Did the second one come out, or the second one is coming out soon, right? Of David Gordon Green's Halloween movies. But I'm trying to think what else. Horror movies. The Fly in David Cronenberg's The Fly, kind of a body horror movie. I like The Thing. I'd have to see it again. I like the 50s The Thing from Another World. That one's actually really good. The characters all are really like have their own personality in that. It's really good. It's really effective, and even the creature at the end. You normally think, okay, those old horror movies, they're not scary. It was effective. It was creepy seeing it go up in flames. But I'd have to see The Thing again. It's been a long time since I've seen it. Like, actually, now almost 20 years. Uh, I don't know. I don't know many horror movies. Tell me some. Maybe I've seen some I don't remember. Soundtrack for Halloween definitely is good. But yeah, I just haven't seen a ton. I guess Psycho kind of count. That's more of a thriller. Horror. Horror movie. trying to think by like decade. Give me some context to remember some. 70s, The Exorcist. Can't think of anything else. It Follows. I haven't seen that, but I read the screenplay. I like the screenplay a lot. I met some guy who worked on It Follows at a event, and he was drinking, and he was kind of, he's like, he asked me, "Have you seen It Follows?" And I said, "No." And he's like, "What? How could you not have seen it?" And he just kind of walked away because he worked on it. Apparently, he's like, "What? I worked on it. How could you not? It was very popular." He walked away. I said, "Well, I read the screenplay." Scream. I like the first Scream. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it. I saw it when I was a kid. Friday the 13th, I don't think seen a bunch of the sequels. I'm not sure I've seen the first Friday the 13th all the way through. I've seen parts of it. Oh, the Babadook. That was a good one. I like that. Oh, the Conjuring films. I love those. Those are great. Actually, I think the second one's probably better than the first one. It's so creepy. But I thought those are great. I want to get my mom to review those because she'll be scared by them for sure. I haven't I haven't seen the third one. What do people think of the third Conjuring film? But I thought there's a guy who knows how to scare people. James Wan. He's the director, and I think writer, right? What else? I can't think. I'm trying to think. Let's go to the 80s. Anything I can think of? I haven't seen a bunch of the famous ones, like The Howling. That's a horror movie, right? I don't know. 90s. I don't know. Class of 1999. I enjoyed that when I was a kid. That's kind of horrifying. The robot teacher drills a hole in a guy's head while he yells, "You son of a bitch." Black Sheep, New Zealand horror comedy. It seems like there's a lot of great dark comedy coming out of New Zealand, right? With What We Do in the Shadows. That was a movie and then it was a TV show, right? Anyways, what else? Horror movies. I haven't seen the other Exorcist movies, and I think now there's supposed to be a remake of The Exorcist. I forget, maybe David Gordon Green's going to direct it? I can't remember. Hmm. Why can't I think of horror movies? Somebody look up a list of horror movies and just start typing them out. See if I've seen them. Annabelle, haven't seen that one. Even though it wasn't a horror movie, The Departed scared me a lot. Chucky franchise, I enjoyed the Child's Play movies when I was a kid. Um, oh, Alien. Love Alien. Absolutely love it. Aliens, even though it's more action thriller. That one I love too. Alien 3 I love a lot, even though the story is like it's, kind of weak, but it's so engrossing. Lighthouse, I really want to see that. That looked fascinating. The trailer looked incredible. Hmm. What the hell else? What did I just say I saw? I don't even remember what I just said. I have to watch the stream. Predator? Yeah. Oh, I love that. Predator is one of my favorite action movies, but you could call it horror too. Oh, I said the Alien trilogy. What else? I mean, a history of violence, kind of. It's very intimate violence. It's like up close, and I don't know. You feel complicit in it. Thinking through the 2000s, 2010s. I don't know. It. Oh, I haven't seen any of the It movies. I saw Audition, the Japanese film. Who directed that? Was it Takashi Miike? No, it wasn't. Was it? I don't. It was. Yeah, it was interesting. It was kind of effective. I didn't. Wasn't super, scared by it. Um, I saw Takashi Miike's 13 Assassins. Not a horror movie. It kind of structured more like a heist in a way. The beats they hit, but I loved it. It was so thrilling and amazing. So engrossing. 13 Assassins. Go watch that. I think it's on, well, it was on Netflix. I don't know if it still is, but that was incredible. Such good storytelling. Totally fantastical and plausible, but really great characters. I haven't seen any of Taika Waititi's films. I'm very interested. I've heard great things. Yeah, a lot of horror. Well, you got to think too. A lot of horror, people like they do cheap imitations of it because they think, they know what makes good horror, and they may get lucky and make something kind of interesting that gets a big audience, but there's probably 1,000 horror movies that barely anyone's seen that are gross or sleazy or exploitative compared to every one that's effective. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't seen a ton of horror movies. I'd like to direct a horror movie one day, but make it my own, elevate it. Oh, Shaun of the Dead. That's a really good one. Yeah. How could I forget that? Oh, the original Wicker Man. That was really good. I like that a lot. I haven't seen the new one. Don't have a strong desire to, but the original is very good. I have seen that. Anyways, enough about horror. So we've been going 37 minutes. I'm going to go another 10 minutes or so. Then I want to get back to writing and sleeping. These weekends go by way too quick. Well, what can I do? I got to write a ton. And also, just so you know, if you're interested in like how my schedule is going to work out the next few months, September, middle of September, I'm starting my next workshop with Corey Mandel. And oh, that's going to be interesting because that's going to be at night on a weekday. And I just figured, well, I'm just going to get through it because the only other time I could do it was in the afternoon on a weekday. And I'm like, well, I'd rather just do it at night. Even if I'm going to be tired at work the next day, so be it. Because it's going to go to 11 o'clock at night. It's pretty late for me, but I'll be fine. And so that's going to go about 2 months, I think. Then I think about a month off. Then another workshop. I believe it starts in January and goes to March. And that's the third one. So these are sequential. It's not like they're just three different ones. It's set up so that you have to take the first one to get to the second one, and then the second one to the third one. So I've already paid up for all of them, and I'm really looking forward to it. And even though, I'd like to be practicing with someone else now, it's, hey, deal with what I have. I'll push harder if, I can't get someone else to help me with this. But I know I'm on the right track. And I don't like saying that because it makes me dissociate, really. It's like weirdly self referential to myself, and that makes me dissociate. But so I won't say that. I take it back. I'm not on the right track. But I know I'm headed in the right direction. I prefer that because I'm just working at this, and I'm not trying to write stuff to impress anybody. I'm not trying to write stuff with the idea that I'm going to feel great about it. I just want to learn. That's really what I realized is people's problem is if they don't want to learn, they can write a ton and they're not really going to develop their skills. Yeah. Anyways, and it's so thrilling to write. I mean, it's just incredible. And I'm learning so much as I'm writing, and I'm like, how's that possible? I'm doing this, but how am I learning from it? Doesn't it mean I somewhere in myself I already know all this stuff? So how can I learn from what I'm doing? But I am. Again, click like, everyone helps the video up. But yeah, this is just what I'm focused on. So I go to work. Well, I get up, I work out, all that stuff. Eat, shower, moisturize, and go to work, work my job, come home, and screw around on the internet too much, and then write. But I gotta cut that out because I'm realizing how precious time is. Every 10-minute increment is time I could have been doing something with writing. So it's like I have to keep talking about it. I have to keep trying to make myself accountable for it. The good news is this week alone, I've written over like 150 pages. And the reason that's good is not because it's a script that I would want you to read and like, oh, that you'll like this. No, by no means that. It's I'm learning from that. I'm like letting my unconscious sort of take over and discovering stuff that's interesting, but not judging it, not being like, oh, that's interesting, just letting it go. And I can go back to it later and read it and try and see, okay, what's there to take from this that often just writing from a simple prompt, just two characters talking, and then developing a whole story from that, and not even knowing there's going to be a story. Sometimes, oftentimes, I just try and write two characters talking, and I realize, oh, okay, and then something interesting can happen there, and then because of that, this can happen, and because of that, they're going to do this, and because of someone else, coming in, they got to do this, and I'm realizing, oh, all of a sudden, I've got into a story, and that's just good. That means I'm learning. Doesn't mean those stories are worth selling or worth showing anybody, but it means I'm learning from them, and that's something I wasn't doing as much before when I was held back by too much perfectionism. I will go back to trying to structure stuff and make sure things are interesting and escalating, and have uh, compelling conflict and grab the reader and are engrossing. But for now, I'm not even worried about that. And that's the design of this exercise that I've been doing for like 4 weeks now. Is just dreamlike intuitive writing. Anyways. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing The Last Temptation of Christ. They're going to play David Fincher's movies this month. I don't know if I want to go see those. Partly the pandemic, partly just time and money, and also the theater they're going to play some of them at. A little scary for me. It's got a high ceiling. I have a fear of high ceilings. I'm seriously uncomfortable in them. But they're going to play Fight Club, man. I've never seen Fight Club in a theater. I would fucking love to. I have to see it in the theater. I don't care. I'll sit in the very back, so I'm under the balcony and I don't see the ceiling too much. I have to see that in the theater. I love that film. That made me want to be a filmmaker almost more than anything. Zombie Man. I watched. Wait, YTT's Reservation Dogs. I just heard about Reservation Dogs. I didn't know what it was. The twins cracked me up. Okay, yeah, I got to check out his stuff. I mean, I've heard all kinds of great things about his films. Never seen one. And I know he acts in his films too. And looking forward to seeing it. What can I do? I'm just so busy. David Fincher, when he was working on, I think it was Girl with Dragon Tattoo, I can't remember, he said, like, in an interview, I haven't seen a movie in a year. He said, how pathetic is that? Because he was so busy working. That's how it is. You just don't have time. Jojo Rabbit, yeah, I know he was in that. Now the question, should I eat tonight or should I just starve? What's the answer, fellas, ladies, non-binary viewers? What should I do? Why am I asking you? I'm just not going to eat. Better for me. Just write, go the fuck to sleep. Oh, everybody. So update on Moist Andy. He's doing very well. Thank goodness. There were like 10 different ways he could have, been horribly, permanently injured or died, or all kinds of horrible outcomes from his bike crash. He is pretty much making a full recovery. He is so, so lucky. And I've never seen him talk like this, where he thanked the, first responders and the hospital workers, calling them heroes. I've never seen him talk like that. He posted about saying that, and man, I'm glad he realizes how lucky he is. My goodness, it just sickens me to think how hurt he was, and his fractures and bones broken and stuff are healing very well, and he's walking and he wants to get back to work. But I said, don't get back to work right away. Take your time recovering, man. Like, take advantage of all that medical leave. Use it for something else. Use it to make your videos, to build radios, which he loves doing. Do something. Make sure you're fully recovered, because if you go back to work and you're not fully ready, then you may never be able to work again. Yeah, Break the Loop says, I think it's common for creators to have a vacuum of consuming media when they are working on their own projects. A game developer said anything that came out in a 3-year period is a blank. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just what can I do? I'm getting up at like 3:45 in the morning. Today I slept in, meaning until 4:30 or so, and my whole day is consumed by, well, errands for half the day, and then writing, and now live streaming, because you're so busy during those 3 years. Yeah, exactly. And during work days, getting up at 3:45, exercise, all that stuff, go to work. I don't have to exercise, but I won't feel good if I don't. Like, I need to. It pushes me to, it's like doing something difficult early in the day helps me get through the day. And lately I've been making time to write, so I don't exercise quite as long, and I write for like 20 minutes, even if it's only 3 pages. And go to work, come home, take another 20 minutes walking the 5 blocks from where I park my car to my apartment, because I want to park in a safe area. And also, it's the only place I can get parking during the day. And, write and go to sleep around, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. That's my day. Where do I have time for a movie? Lucky Luciano, yes. Please think of it. We will follow you. That's right. FOT fans, you should follow me. Lucky Luciano, yeah, man. I mean, I don't want to talk about it much, the situation in Afghanistan, because it will make me dissociate, but for sure. Seriously, it'll make me dissociate. I can't talk about it. How will that help anyone? I'll just be sick again. I can't. I realized I am most attentive in the morning. Try and work my passion project in the morning, easy, and trying to do it at the end of the day when I'm sleepy. Yeah, I mean, that's how I found it works best for me. And I used to stay up writing till like 3, 4, 5 in the morning, but I'm just better off doing that, getting up early, because I was always so depressed, waking up late, and it's like starting my day practically at 3 in the afternoon. And it's like everything is just happening to me when I want to be getting the day out of my way, getting out of my own way. So I'm ahead of my own, just myself. So I'm not in my own way. Gotta do my breathing exercises and not dissociate. So tense my muscles up, tense my butt. That helps. And I want to watch, yeah, movies. I want to watch Fight Club, but I'm definitely going to watch The Last Temptation of Christ. And maybe I'll see Zodiac in a theater. I did see Zodiac opening weekend. Thank goodness I have that experience. That memory is so thrilling. Yeah, I'm fine, FOT fans. You're looking forward to getting back to work on Wednesday, Zombie Man? Where do you work? Are you the one who, no, painting houses. I forget what either of you do. I know you're both in New Zealand. Why are you out of work, Zombie Man? Is it because the lockdown in New Zealand, or what? Answer me. Damn it. Lockdown, I see. But yeah, I've just been pushing myself to feel good, work. I got to eat better. I've been indulging a little too much, and I probably gained around 10 pounds, maybe less. I don't know. But yeah, I've definitely gotten a little flabbier, a little fuller in the cheeks. So that doesn't feel good. I want to lose weight, and I can do that. Factory work. Okay. Um, it's so interesting. We always think of factories. We just have the images we see here in America of factories in certain places in America, like, especially southern states. We think of the Rust Belt and all that. I don't know if that's a term that comes from factories or whatever, but factories here, and then we think of factories in Asia where labor makes is exploited and makes cheap stuff that we buy, but we don't think of factories as being in New Zealand, and that's just because of the images we see. We're just conditioned to think that. You do contracting in Nevada. We'll get going, and I'm going overtime on this, but I'll get going in a few minutes. We'll give it another 5 minutes, and then I'll get back to writing. You're a scientist of sorts. Well, I'm sure contractors are, right? Because you got to do measurements and math and engineering and some physics, maybe some chemistry. This piece of shit broke, I think. Multiple USB plug-in thing. Piece of crap. You research rocketry. Oh, okay. Well, that too. That's scientific work. Man, still can't believe Trevor Moore's gone from Whitest Kids You Know. I saw the live stream that the remaining Whitest Kids You Know did, I believe, last week. I stayed up too late watching it, and they said they're going to do a comedy show, like memorial for him tribute, but it's not going to be open to the public. They're not going to sell tickets. They're just going to do it somewhere and film it, and people can watch it afterwards. Nuclear combustion rockets? What the hell is this? What kind of homemade project are you working on, Lucky Luciano? Uh, there aren't any nuclear propulsion rockets. So combustion rockets? So what is this science fiction you're researching? How to get to Mars? How to get to Venus? Neptune? Safest and cleanest form of rocketry? Hey boss, we're going to strap a nuclear bomb to the back of this rocket. It's the safest and cleanest form of rocketry there ever was. I don't know about that, Luciano. Sounds kind of dangerous to me. Listen, we're going to do this my way, and it's a safe way. You got it? Capiche? All right, fuck. Who gives a fuck? All right, we'll do it. We'll strap the nuclear bomb to the back of the rocket. That's what that sounds like to me. It's been done. There's some confidential parts of the job. Oh boy, I hope you're not giving away any top secret information. It's been done. Really? And what, you're just doing contracting on the side, like roofing and installing toilets and banisters, replacing floors? Oh, defense contractor. Oh, okay. I thought you meant home contractor. Looking forward to some live sports to return. Yeah, I don't know how they do it safely here in America. Like, they have audiences back at, baseball stadiums, and I don't know, football season's probably not started yet, right? But at least I know around here, the LA Dodgers have been playing, and they've had crowds there. I'm like, I don't know how they do that safely. I'm applying carpet and plumbing to a rocket. Yeah. Vaccine passport, but see, that doesn't answer how do you keep it safe for everyone, though? Because there's been breakthroughs, and I'm sure the breakthroughs are the outliers. I'm sure the vast majority of people are kept safe, pretty safe with the vaccines, but even so, I don't know. Maybe it does make sense, you know? Maybe they have people spaced out with good ventilation, all that. I don't know. Beats me. But here in America, it's a disaster. Some states like Florida and Texas, where they're just in denial about it, in order to basically to gain create havoc to for Republicans to gain power. Um, there's like more COVID hospitalizations than ever, and workers are overloaded and they're dying and or quitting or all kinds of horrible stuff. It's like how much death can you watch at your job? Your job. Like you don't expect to have to see people die on a regular basis at a place you go to work. Anyways, it's been about an hour. I want to keep to my word, even though I'm enjoying this stream. I enjoy live streaming, but I want to get back to work. Thank you for watching, everyone. Keep subscribed and all that, and check out the Office Hours episode that I was a part of. I was in the audience when they did a live show. Go to Tim Heidecker's YouTube channel, watch Office Hours live. I asked a question to Tim, and Tim greeted me, and Vic Berger, he knows me, he greeted me. I know Vic, and of course I know Tim from the Cook Off, but I'm not saying that to it's about me. It was cool to be there, and I got to ask a question, and Tim was making fun of me during it. It was really funny. So check that out. Anyways, thanks for watching, everyone.